Hello, good evening, welcome. Thank you to everybody who's joining us live right now. We're doing Google Hangouts to help support you in every way that we can so that you can live your best life and achieve your goals and live your dreams, and just so that you can wake up happy every single day and be able to know what you desire and be able to connect to your heart. And so today's topic that we're going to be talking about is boundaries. And it's kind of a funny word because I feel like, you don't want it to sound like it's like I'm pushing you out, right? But it's something that you set up in your life to create this clarity. So you know what's important to you, what you will put up with, what you won't put up with. And it really just gives you a really clear path and allows you to stay focused and centered and moving towards what you desire so that you don't get taken out, right? While you're on your way to achieving something that you truly desire. And you don't all of a sudden get pulled out and put into somebody else's, movie or, whatever it is, their life, their drama. It keeps you centered. And I love it. Just a few days ago, I was having breakfast over at a friend's house, and we were having a big life talk about living your passions and just really going for what you truly desire. And she said to me, "Oh, you got to know this. My best friends, they just told me about this thing, and I'm doing it in my life right now, and I absolutely love it, and it's changed so much for me about my career, and it's boundaries." And I just kind of sat back laughing, thinking, I know, aren't they amazing? And we're about to give a webinar all about them this week. And so they are amazing. And for some of the most successful people I know, not success, in terms of career necessarily, but success in relationships, success in family life, in self-care, in all of these areas. Boundaries can really set you up for the full vision and the full greatness for what it is that you desire. So you are in for a treat tonight, whether you're live or not. I'm sure you'll find value in what we have to share. So I do Little Black Dress Plan with my beautiful mother, Bonnie. And yeah, I'm Amber Joy. Hold the phone. I got to introduce myself first. Amber Joy. And I do this with my mother. She's Bonnie. We are rarely in the same city at the same time. We're both urban gypsies, if you will. And so she's going to take it away and just share with you how boundaries can really create an amazing impact in your life. So take it away.
Thanks, Amber. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited that we get to be here tonight. You're going to want to write some notes, and you're going to have a little bit of homework because this will work for you. This is very, very powerful that it works for you. So the topic, and what I believe is true, is boundaries equals blessings. And so boundaries are your second step in living a life full of prosperity. And so when you're living that life full of prosperity, you're living a life full of peace and harmony and happiness and abundance, money, joy, wellness. You make the list for what prosperity means for you because it's wonderful. But some of you aren't feeling prosperous. Some of you are feeling tired. Some of you are feeling scared. Some of you are feeling angry. Some of you are feeling hopeless. Some of you are freaked out by your bank account and what's not in it. Some of you are disappointed. And some of you have promised yourself that you'll never, never end up here again. But you haven't set your boundaries. And it all happens in this life. What is most important is knowing that when your boundaries are set, you receive your blessings. So I know what it is like to be afraid. I know what it's like to not know where the next dollar's coming from. I know what it's like not to know how am I going to get out of this relationship. I know what it's like to know how to think, how am I going to go on after today? How am I going to go on and miss this person? I know what that's all like. I know what the pain is like. But I also know, and in that, I know, what it's like to be unhappy. But I also know that when we set our boundaries, we begin to shift. And I know now what it's like not to live in anyone else's drama, to let them have their own drama. I know what it's like to feel energized. I know what it's like to book my calendar, to have the most important people in my life and have time with them. I know what it's like to know exactly who that person is that's sucking the energy. I know what it's like, and I know how to stop it. And I know what it's like to keep focused on what I need for my own prosperity. And I want to share the important points with you. Boundaries, it's a line that makes a mark, according to the dictionary. It's a line that makes a mark where that is your limit. You will not cross. It's a line of what you will accept and what you won't accept. It's a line, and when I've said it, the blessings come in. So some of you have been with me before, and we've talked about boundaries, and some of it will seem familiar. Some of it will be absolutely new, and it's to make you remember what's right for you and what's not okay. And so let me ask you some questions. If you do have your boundaries set, you'll find yourself very happy and flowing through life. If you don't have your boundaries set, you'll find yourself unhappy and frustrated. So what if you were to assume the best in people? What if you were? That's great. But it's not great if you don't have your boundaries set. It won't be long before you're feeling a little victimized, you're feeling taken advantage of, you're feeling, why me? But when you set your boundaries, then you will be feeling just fine. And you'll be able to love in the biggest way you've ever loved. So let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy are you? Do you stick with your eating plan, or do you fall off frequently? What are the boundaries around your wellness? What are the boundaries? What will you stand for and what will you not? What's your energy level like? What's the boundaries around you for the people that you allow close to you? What's your energy level like? How is your income? How are those boundaries? How's your time management? Those of us who work for ourselves, we have to use time management so that we can take it all in, because often we want to do maybe some of the fun extracurricular things first, but if I have my boundaries, I get to do everything. Who are you spending time with, and how much energy is that taking? How happy are you with the people around you? On a scale of 1 to 10, be honest. How do you like your home kept? Do you have boundaries? Do you have to take your shoes off before you enter it? Do you not? How do you like your car kept? Do you feel taken advantage of? What will you give away? How's your customer service? Are you respected in all that you do? And what do you need people to respect in you? It's an important question. Where do you travel? Who do you travel with? Do you need the bed made? How important is positive energy to you? Does cell phone activity at your table offend you? What are your boundaries? And I know it all seems really simple, but it's so important, because when you get this, you will stop the upset in life and you'll bring more joy, because life is precious and it's the energy that you're surrounding yourself with. Brene Brown says, she asks a big question. I'm going to read it to you. What boundaries need to be in place for me to stay in my integrity and make the most generous assumptions about you? What boundaries need to be in place for me to stay in my integrity and to make the most generous assumptions about you? I love it. Because generosity and love cannot be given fully until you've set your boundaries. So I want to share some of my boundaries, and I hope that that will help you a little bit. I do ask you that as soon as you get off this, that you sit down and you write out at at least 5 boundaries and stay with that. So I'd love to hear about yours sometime and write to me. I'd love to know what some of your boundaries are. My first one is the positive mindset. I think for me, it is so important that the people that I surround myself with have a very positive mindset. They are possibility thinkers. They are close and we support ourselves together. We support each other. Knowing what that positive mindset is all about. And there was a time in my life, that I really had to, I just listened to people and then I'd leave the room and then I would feel terrible. And I really needed to sit back and stop taking in people's negative opinions. So what would come about in your life if you didn't have to listen to people's negative talk? What would it look like? And today, this afternoon, I was reading something, one of my favorites, one of my mentors in business. He's an entrepreneur. He's actually 86 years old. And he said he reads this book every day, parts of it. And I'm going to read that to you. It's from James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. It's an old book, so the language is going to be a bit different. But it says, cease your complaining and fretting. None of these things that you blame are the reasons for your poverty. The cause is within yourself. And where the cause is, the remedy is. The very fact that you are a complainer shows that you deserve your lot, as it shows your lack of faith, which is the ground for all effort and progress. Don't you love it? That's been around for over 100 years, that was written. And I thought, oh, one of my boundaries has become people with a mindset that is positive and is possibility. My second boundary, I love being around people who are open to their own special blessings. I love it. It jazzes me so much to hear about what you want in your life or to assist you to find it out and to work through it as you are open to your blessings. It's one of my boundaries. It must be. The other boundary is no negative self-talk. And I learned that it was Maya Angelou that's one of her boundaries, and I loved it. That is absolutely one of the boundaries that I'm setting. No negative self-talk in my presence. The next one, wellness in my presence. It is important that you embrace wellness if you're in my tight circle of friends. If you're even in my house, in my home, if I spend time with you, it is imperative that you embrace wellness because you see, this is the only body that you have to carry your mind around. And when you take steps to enhance your wellness, oh my gosh, I love to hear about it. So one of my boundaries is no smoking in my presence. Just one of my boundaries. Next boundary, no swearing. We talk about this, different speakers use it, different other people do, other people don't, but for me, I find it a real negative energy. Maybe that's my grandma still hanging around over my shoulder, but no swearing in my presence. My next boundary, I love positive talk around entrepreneurial people. Entrepreneurial efforts. For those of you who know me, you'll know I am so supportive of you if you're building your own business, if you're an entrepreneur. I am so supportive of you if you have embraced network marketing. I'm so supportive of you if you've decided that you're living your dream and you're an entrepreneur and you're following through with it. So around me, there is no negative talk about entrepreneurs. They are the people who are guiding and leading our world with their dreams. I love it. Next boundary, integrity. You must be full of integrity to spend time with me. It doesn't matter where you rate yourself. You say you're already rating yourself as great. Be in full integrity. If you need to learn, be in full integrity, because we are all human. We all need to learn. Another boundary, manners. Don't you love manners? Manners matter to me. Women, doesn't it feel good to have a gentleman pull the chair out for you? Doesn't it feel good to have someone say, I appreciate you? Doesn't it feel good to have manners that are present? And my next one that I want to share, my next boundary, is appreciation for yourself and for others. And I want to empower you to get to the place where you can say, I am so worth it that I have set boundaries for myself. I am so worth it. I have set the boundaries that I require to become the great person that I am. And I heard about this just a couple of weeks ago. I've shared it with a couple of my friends, where there was a gentleman in the past having dinner at the table of Maya Angelou, and he began to talk negatively about a specific race. Now, he crossed a boundary that she had, and she very gently and nicely said, could you please leave our dinner party? No one in my home shares words like that. And he said, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I won't talk about this. And she said, no, if you could please leave my home, we'll talk about this next week. You know how powerful and well respected that woman was. Such a powerful woman that blessed the lives that were around her. She had her boundaries. So now I ask you, so what are your boundaries? When we have our boundaries, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here on my notes for you, but when you get to the end of your days, do you want to say, man, I should have had some boundaries. People took advantage of me, people took stuff, people never returned it, people treated me, and all of a sudden you're talking like the victim. When you get to the end of your life, do you want to say, wow, I lived the best life. I lived the most incredible life. I am so grateful. And I surrounded myself with the most amazing people. Do you know why? You had boundaries. You had them all set up. And when you're with us, some of you, when you're with us at our Sisterhood Retreat, it's a small group of women that come together and we empower each other, we inspire each other. When you come to the retreat, you'll be stepping into an abundance that is bigger than you may have ever imagined. Abundant health. Can you imagine what that feels like? Getting up every day with energy, getting up with your whole body turning around into a passion for life. Can you imagine abundant living, abundant happiness? Because here's the fact. You're not afraid to be weak. You do a really good job at being weak. You're afraid to be strong. You're not afraid to fail. You see yourself failing so often. You're afraid to see yourself succeeding. So are you willing to stop asking the world, am I okay? Are you willing to stop the world from dictating to you what your life should look like? Are you willing to stop the belief that it's okay to live a mediocre life? Are you willing to set some boundaries for you? Are you willing to step out? And we talk about at a retreat, we talk about starting over. And one of the things that, oh man, it just gets in my heart when someone says, I really need to start over, my life's a mess, I don't know what to do, but no, I'm too busy. And that means you may be saying I'm too busy for the next several years of your life. What if you were committed to starting over and to saying, I am worth it, I'm going to set my boundaries. You don't have to go through more and more and more pain. You can set those boundaries. And I heard it explained to me just recently. Don't pretend to think you're jumping into life. Don't pretend. Jump in. And this woman, she explained it as double dutch. You can't pretend to play double dutch. Every girl has played this. You can't pretend to play double dutch. Jump in. Jump into your prosperity. Jump into your new life. Jump into your path. But set your boundaries and watch those blessings come. Because that will happen. You will have opportunities come to you and you can grow. You will have people show up in your life and you can pay attention, and you've set your boundaries for the kind of people you want in your life, and so they will be attracted to you and you will be led into greater and greater things. You can play big and you can be part of a group of people that sets boundaries, and part of that group of people they set boundaries and they are so excited about their stuff that's going on. They're making life happen. So you can either get into your stuff of being grumpy and in a bad mood and just feeling really crappy and go, well, life's just like this. Nothing ever works out for me. Or you can set your boundaries about what you will allow in your thinking and what you will allow with people close to you and around, how they think and what kind of energy do they suck from you, or what kind of energy do they give to you. So what kind of people do you want to have around you? That's the important question for us. And so I want you to know that boundaries are your key to self-love. When you love yourself in such a big way, you have set your boundaries. We want everyone to like us on Facebook, but guess what? If we've got our boundaries set, you love you, and it doesn't matter. The world is no longer dictating to you how you should be, how you should show up, etc. You set your boundaries. You're going to move into loving relationships. You're going to move into a partner that appreciates and adores you. You're going to move into abundance and money flowing into your life because you've set your boundaries. If you're building your own business, you're going to see that grow and grow because you've set your boundaries enough to love yourself in the place that you're at. And when you decide that you're with it, you'll get rid of that small thinking. You'll get rid of that, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I never could. Oh, my life is so. You'll get rid of that my glass is half empty syndrome, and it will move into my glass is half full. And here's who I surround myself. And here's where I'm going. And here's what I'm doing. And here's my boundaries. And a part of me that doesn't work for me. And you will excuse yourself from those conversations. Because you get it, that you have a purpose in life. And you can't live full out. You cannot live a passionate life until you set your boundaries. And then, within your boundaries, you are full on in love. You are living your life. You are loving your life. And you are full of respect. And boundaries, well, that means you respect yourself. That means you're surrounded by people who respect you. That means you respect the gifts that you're given. And that means you respect the chances that you're given. And your eyes are wide open. You are becoming awake. So when someone walks into your life and offers you something that is fabulous, you know if it's for you or not. If someone walks into your life and offers friendship, you know that that's a gift. Boundaries are your number 2 step of moving into your prosperity and being open to your blessings. So I challenge you today, take a good look. What are your boundaries? What are your boundaries? I'm so excited I can't even say it. What are your boundaries in your workspace? What are your boundaries with your best friends? What are your boundaries in your love relationships? And if you don't have a love relationship, well, that little thing that came up on my computer, a part of me, if you don't have a love relationship, what's your boundaries with you? What would your boundaries be? Today, starting now, you can create a life that you truly desire. So I want to thank you for joining with us. I want to challenge you to do something with this. Don't just listen. And I want to challenge those of you who know it's your turn to start over. I love it. I wish it was every 6 weeks. Every 6 months, we get together with a powerful group of women who are open to starting over. So please go to our website, littleblackdressplan.com/starting over. You want to hear about that right away. There's only a few more spots available. So please, if you knew that was for you, join us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. That was awesome. There was a couple things that struck me while you were talking, and one of them is it really is the difference between living a life by design versus a life by default, right? And that's something that is so important at every stage in life. And it's funny, I just a few weeks ago gave a talk to a fashion school. And when I got asked to give the talk, I was like, I don't work in fashion anymore. Are you sure that I'm the girl to give the talk? And they said to me, yeah, we really want it to be you because we want you to also talk about like sustainability in the industry. And it can be a hard knock place, you know, it can be a catty, dramatic place. And so what would it take to, you know, for these young students to really be able to create a career that is sustainable and healthy? And so it was really cool because I gave the talk, and it was funny, I didn't even plan for this to be the main thing, but what happened was really just instructing and inspiring these young students to know what they desire, you know, and to know what their standards are within their work and what they are interested in doing and what their values are, so they can continue to connect to that and not get lost in this world, you know, just being pushed around doing whatever somebody else tells you to do. Like, what do you stand for? What's important to you? Where are you going, right? So that you can design your career is what I really talked about. And so I love it. It's all, you can use it for your whole life, and you should use it for your whole life. Otherwise you're just in cruise control, and that's not always good. It's not usually good unless you're going on a really long road trip. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. And yeah, like my mom said, if you're interested in retreats, you know, go to littleblackdressplan.com. Right now, go to littleblackdressplan.com/starting over for our newest retreat. And stay tuned. We'll have more Google Hangouts for you. We've got next month's all lined up. So get on the mailing list and we will share with you the details very, very, very soon. So have a beautiful evening. Thank you very much.